All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Achievement Apex. My name is Brendan Murphy, and today we're going to be talking about the big problem with putting your money in a savings account and what you should be doing instead to actually get some kind of return on your money without going into some deep dive analysis on the market and following the news 24/7. This is about something easy you can do to maximize your return. So what you've probably been taught as a kid, and what pretty much the majority of the whole world thinks, is that what you should do is just put away your money in your savings account, and over time, the bank's going to pay you interest, and then that's going to grow into a big amount of money in the future, right? But in reality, this could not be further from the truth, because what the banks don't tell you, and frankly, what not many people even consider, is the cost of inflation. So if we say that on average, inflation is around 3% and the bank's paying you like 1% per year at the most, your money's going to be worth 2% less every year, even though you look at the balance and it's like, yeah, it's gone up. Nice, the bank's paying me. No, you're paying them to have your money in the bank, and they disguise it as if they're paying you. It's the best scam in the world, in my opinion. They've got the whole world thinking they're making money when in reality they're stealing it from you. So now that you're one of the few people that actually know about this problem, what can you do to leverage your money and get some kind of a decent return without expending so much time and effort that, it's not even worth it at that point, right? And the answer is low-cost index funds. An index fund is a stock or bond portfolio that's designed to mimic the composition and performance of an index itself. The advantage of an index fund over some other kind of managed fund is they have significantly lower fees. You don't have to pay someone to actively manage your portfolio because you're literally putting your money in the market. You're not paying some guy to play around with your money and not even do you good, right? When these people that are actively managing funds, they take a fee for managing your money, but over time, 90% of these guys aren't even beating the market. So 90% of the time, your money's better spent in an index fund. And on top of that, when you invest in an index fund, it requires literally no time and effort from you. Well, maybe a little bit to get it set up, right? But after that, you can just deposit like a small bit of your pay every week and pretty much watch the money grow. For pretty much every financial market, there's an index. There's indexes for stocks, commodities, bonds, you name it, there's an index for it. The most popular ones, and ones you've probably heard of, are the S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the NASDAQ Composite. There's a whole bunch, right? But those are the most popular. So how does an index work? Well, the performance of an index over time is influenced by the price of the stocks that it's made up of. So let's say you have an index and it has a lot of companies, but let's just say that, for example, it has like Apple and Tesla in it, right? If Apple and Tesla, among the other companies in the index, are doing well, then the price of the index is going to go up. And then if one or some of the stocks in the index perform worse, then the price of the index is going to go down. But what happens in the index is when stocks are underperforming, they get kicked out of the index, and then new ones come in that are performing well, which then leads to the index going back up again. And that's why when you look back 1, 5, 10, 20 years, the index is pretty much just like going up all the time. You even see the crash, like the 2008 crash, the crash in 2020 from the COVID pandemic. It recovers and then is worth even more. So when you look at it like that, it's a no-brainer to just put money in and watch it go up, right? So if we take a look at the S&P 500, for example, since its inception in 1926, it's averaged an annual return of about 9 to 11%. Now you're probably like, yeah, but I wasn't around in 1926 to invest back then. Well, you don't have to be, right? Let's just take a look at the last 5 years. And remember, that includes the COVID-19 crash, where the index lost 35% of its value in 1 month, which is the fastest crash in history. So let's say you had $5,000 in the index 5 years ago and you didn't put any extra money into it. So first of all, the baseline is, let's say you had your money in a savings account 5 years ago and you let it grow at 1% per year. Today, it would be worth $5,267. So in 5 years, the bank would have paid you $267. But then when you adjust for inflation, they've actually cost you like $400. So when you compare that to the Russell 2000, your money's worth nearly $7,800, which is already over $2,000 extra from doing no extra work. And then if you put it in the Dow Jones, it would be worth almost 9,000. If you put it in the S&P 500, it would be worth nearly 10 grand. And if you put it in the NASDAQ 100, it would be worth almost 14,000 today. So starting from the $5,000 it would be worth if you left it in a savings account, over the exact same amount of time, it could be worth almost $14,000 just from putting it in an index and doing nothing. That's almost 3 times better results with no extra effort from you. Like, to me, this is a no-brainer. But it doesn't stop there. You can supercharge your returns by adding an ongoing contribution. And it's not even going to cost you that much to do that. So let's say that you earn $1,000 a week working full-time, right? And you put 10% of that pay into your index fund each week. So that $100 a week into the index fund. Well, in a savings account, if you were doing the same thing, you would end up with a little bit over 30 grand. That's over 5 years. And then if you put it in the Russell 2000, it'll be worth nearly 41,000. In the Dow Jones Industrial Average, it'll be worth nearly 44,000. In the S&P 500, it would be nearly 50,000. And in the NASDAQ 100, it would be worth over 60,000 compared to the 30,000 of the savings account. So if you invest in a stock index and you add like 10% of your income every month, which is not that hard to do, you can literally transform your results from starting with 5 grand and in 5 years ending up with $60,000. There's almost no investments that have that kind of return. And it didn't even take any effort from you, right? So this sounds great, and it is great, but I gotta tell you, it might not be for everybody. So the good thing about savings accounts is that unless the bank literally loses all of its money, your money's pretty much always gonna be there. And if the market crashes and loses 50% of its value, your money's still gonna be worth exactly what it was before. So you don't lose anything in a crash. That's the benefit of a savings account. Whereas if you put your money in an index, we'll use the COVID-19 crash of 2020 as an example. If you had it in the S&P then, and let's say it was worth 50 grand then, and then the market crashed, in 1 month, you would have watched it drop to $32,500. And that's just in 1 month. Could you handle that? Literally checking your money every single day, and you're losing almost $1,000 a day. You're working to make $1,000 a week. Can you handle losing $1,000 a day? What most people do is they see this happening and then they panic and then they sell their shares to recoup as much losses as possible. But what happens is they end up doing this at the bottom and then the stock market goes back up and they're like, what happened to my money? I shouldn't have sold. Why did I panic? And that's what can set you apart from the average investor. If you can keep a level head and stay in the game when everyone else is panic selling, and they'll be professing to you that you should sell too. They'll be like, what are you doing, man? You're losing $1,000 a day, get out. If you can keep level-headed and say, no, I know that over time it's going to recover and I'm going to make back even more money, I'm not touching it. I'm leaving my money in there. In fact, during this crash, this is the best time to put more money in, because when it recovers, if it lost 35% of the value, when it recovers back to where it was, that's more than 35% gain. So you just got free money. It's so simple. But if you can't handle that 30 to 70% loss in a rapid time frame, then you probably should just leave your money in a savings account. And it's okay to not be able to handle that kind of loss. Not everyone can. And to trick yourself into saying, I can handle that, and then when it actually happens, you panic sell, that's worse. So if you know you're not someone that can handle that, it's okay to have your money in the savings account. But if you are someone that can keep a level head and you can think rationally when everyone else is going mad, then perhaps taking advantage of an index fund and literally doing no work to make an average of 10% per year on your money, then yeah, maybe an index fund is a good option for you. But ultimately, it is your decision. I'm not here to tell you to do one thing over another. It's up to you to do your due diligence and work out what's best for you. So, with that said, I'd like to thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want more information like this from me, maybe subscribe to the channel, leave a comment on something you'd like to see next. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.